Welcome to Tastefully Home. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Jen.
And today we'll be making a bacon cheese puff pie.
At the request of my husband. He was going through my recipe book and saw it and said, you have to make this one sometime because it has bacon and cheese in it. Again, it was another man's meal.
And we're altering this a little today too. Okay.
He requested that. He thought, in his opinion, it would be even better if it had hamburger and sausage. So I said, all right, we'll throw some of that in.
Add our touch to it.
So hopefully, this is a recipe that I have not made before.
Okay.
Haven't tried it, trying it on the show. Hope it doesn't end up being a deep fried chocolate bar episode.
Yeah.
But he contends, how can you go wrong with bacon and hamburger and cheese?
Yeah, I have to agree. It's going to be good, I think.
It looked good in the picture.
Oh, yeah, it did. It looked great in the picture. So, should we go through the ingredients? Sure. Okay. For this recipe, you'll need 1 unbaked pastry shell, and I know you've got the deep dish pastry shell.
Yeah, you could probably make your own, but your own dough. But I just thought, keep it simple.
Right.
This had enough steps to it that I just bought one, but I did buy the deep dish because I was adding the hamburger and sausage. I wanted enough room.
But it is the 9-inch then that you got. Okay, yep. 1 pound of sliced bacon, cooked and crumbled, and 1 large tomato, peeled and sliced, and you have an abundance of these in your garden, so that was not a big deal.
No.
1 cup shredded cheddar cheese, 3 eggs that are separated, 3/4 cup sour cream, 1/2 cup flour, 1/2 teaspoon salt, and then some paprika.
Yeah.
So,
and that's it. And then, of course, the hamburger and sausage.
Right.
I bought 1 pound of each, and I only put 1/2 pound. So I've basically just thrown it in a frying pan, 1/2 pound of sausage, 1/2 pound of ground beef, and I'm frying it up because the bacon was cooked prior. I just thought it's probably safe to cook it and then put it in.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And the first step then to this would be taking, and it says an unpricked pie shell.
Okay.
And then layering it with 2 layers of foil and cooking it for 5 minutes at 450.
450, okay.
And then taking the foil off and cooking it for 5 more minutes.
So this will almost be like a pot pie, I'm assuming.
I think so, with the other ingredients. So I will put this in and get it covered. And this was just a frozen pie shell that I let defrost.
Okay.
So I'll just stick that. And we'll put it in for 5 minutes, and while this is cooking, we can get the other stuff ready.
Okay, sounds good.
Stick it in. Turn the timer on so we don't forget it. I'm always famous for that, putting it in, and 20 minutes later. Okay, I'll get this bowl out for you, Melissa. While we're waiting for the pie crust to bake, let's mix the in the bowl stuff. And then we'll go back to the pie crust in a moment.
And for this, we need the eggs.
We need to beat the egg yolks.
And you have a nifty little kitchen tool here.
Little gadget for those gadget lovers. I've seen them before and didn't know what they were until finally someone clued me into this.
That it was. You want me to hold it while you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to grab one more bowl though because we want to save the weights as well.
That's right.
So if we crack it over here, the yolk should stay in, right? In there, and then we'll dump it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll let you do it.
I think I like the old-fashioned way better. Okay, yep, perfect.
Okay.
And we need 3 of those, correct?
Right, so I'll just dump it in now, and then...
See, how many people does it take to crack eggs?
Crack and separate, I guess, we're adding a step, so.
Okay.
Where did you find the little gadget at? Just a discount store? Or?
Yeah, I've seen them all over, but this actually came with measuring cups.
Oh, okay.
Came kind of in a package, and that's the only reason why I knew what it was, because the package said so, and I'm like, oh, that's what those are. Well,
do we have a...
I could just use my finger too.
Oh, there we go.
Yolk is just clinging to that white.
Yeah, my goodness, there we go. Maybe the old method is a good method anyway, so, okay, there we go.
Okay, so 3 yolks.
Okay.
And we are going to beat those with the sour cream, and I was a 1/2 cup of sour cream, is that correct? I have to look, double check.
3/4 cup?
Okay. Good thing I checked. So I'm going to measure that out, and I will twist those a bit and get them kind of stirred up.
Grab a spoon.
And then we need the flour and the salt as well. So this will be kind of the... And I think this is partly going to be, like you said, like the kind of pot pie. This is going to kind of add a crust on top.
Okay. And we're just using regular sour cream. And when you're using bacon and sausage and hamburger, you might as well go with the regular sour cream. So
no worries.
Right in here, right? Okay.
About fat-free at this point in time. Yes.
And it's just one of those things. Sometimes the lighter, the fat-free does change the taste a little bit. So
I really notice a difference. So I usually do buy. Okay, and then we need some flour.
Okay. And how much of that do we need?
Half a cup.
1/2 cup.
Do you want to use that big
Should I
one
just
there
use this? Okay. 1/2 cup of flour.
And then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt when you're done, and I'll keep mixing this.
1/2
just
teaspoon
to beat.
Salt.
Oh, there's our pie crust. I'll grab that while you're mixing the rest, and I'll just take the foil off and then put the timer on for 5 more minutes so I don't burn my fingers. Not too bad at all. I'm almost wondering if this won't make it kind of crispy.
Sure.
So that when we put the other ingredients in, it doesn't kind of melt, you know, right in.
Okay. And when we actually get to the step where we're baking everything together, how long do we have to bake that then?
I believe 35, 40 minutes.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but it's somewhere around that.
So actually, if you can have the hamburger and sausage and bacon prepared ahead of time, it'd be something you could throw in after work, and that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we need to beat the egg whites until they're stiff. And then at that time, you're going to, you'll be cutting the tomato.
And actually, it says peeled and then sliced. And because I just picked this out of the garden, it is so ripe, I think it should peel quite easily. Otherwise, I know you can boil tomatoes for a little bit, and then they peel quite easily as well. But if they're ripe, they should peel pretty decently. And I think what I'll do is just thinly slice them.
Okay.
And then once your whites are stiff, you can fold them into that bowl. I'll get this off. Yeah, these tomatoes are so juicy. There's nothing like vine ripened.
Oh, I know. They're the best. They're just by far better than anything you have to buy.
And if I don't get all of this peel off,
I don't think anybody will be too picky.
No. Get most of it. Okay. There's one. And then once the oven beeps there, that pastry shell will be ready, and we'll just have to let it cool a little bit, and we'll be ready to crumble the bacon on top.
I think I'm actually going to put these eggs into a measuring cup, just because I'm worried about the dish being so shallow and slopping raw egg all over.
Good idea. I will slice up these tomatoes. I have finally gotten them peeled. And there's our pie.
As we prepare to celebrate the miracle of Christmas, your friends at Lakes Medevan of Detroit Lakes hope that we may all join in thanking Christ for the greatest of his gifts. This message of Christmas love is given to you from everyone at Lakes Medevan of Detroit Lakes.
With warmest thoughts, KRCQ 102.3 sends best wishes for a holiday season filled with happiness. It is the hope of all of us here at KRCQ that the peace of the season will be with you always.
Well, during our break, we had to beat our eggs and the egg whites until they became stiff, and we learned that our suggestion would be to use a mixer because we figured it took a lot longer than we had intended.
Yeah.
So,
and show your pipes.
Yeah, right. But it does get thick to a meringue type consistency. So the next step then you said is to fold
that into here, and I'll actually maybe let you use that.
It's very thick.
It is, yeah, it definitely, meringue would be the description.
Get it all out here.
It's just neat how eggs do that.
Oh, I know. And it just, I would imagine, like we were talking about during our break, you want it this consistency just so it's, you know, light and fluffy versus heavy and real liquidy, even though it is somewhat liquidy. But
okay. Well, while you mix that, I think I'll grab the pie shell.
Okay.
We did put it in the fridge because it needs to cool, and just for time's sake, I thought it'd be quicker to cool it off in the fridge.
Okay.
So I will go grab that. We'll put it right there. Yep, it's pretty cool.
all right.
Okay, so we kind of got to back up now because we did that, and the first thing we need to do for the crust is crumble the bacon on top. And I was saying that I thought bigger chunks probably would be.
I think so, yeah.
That way you just get more flavor.
Right, you taste it more, so oops. And you did say that you pre-cooked this, but
I did.
And you have thick bacon here, which is good. I mean, I know I like the thick bacon, so.
It was just from the grocery store, no name brand.
Okay.
Extra thick cut.
This would be good, or, you know, we've got hamburger and sausage in ours, but if you did just the bacon, and, well, you could even have hamburger and sausage, but even as a breakfast recipe, you know, just a little bit heavier of a breakfast than
Kind of like a brunch or something.
Yeah, right.
That would be really good.
That would be great.
And I guess because we are adding the sausage and beef, I'm thinking we're just going to add it right in here with the bacon. That's where I assumed if you're adding something,
have
it
all the
would
meat
go
together. Just, I suppose you somewhat have layers then once you get everything in here.
Because after this, we will add the cheese on top of that. Okay, while you're doing that, I will scoop some of this in. We may have cooked more than we need, but...
Oh, I don't think our guys will complain about that.
More meat the better. I just don't want to...
And you know, with this much, we could have even had 2 pie shells possibly.
I was just thinking, yeah. If we had done 2 pounds of bacon, I bet even half a pound of meat would be probably plenty. But we'll just save some for tacos or something. Okay. Once you get all that bacon in, I will grab the cheese, and it was a cup of cheese. I better check. Yeah, it was. So I will sprinkle that on, and this is just the grated cheddar cheese. And of course, you could grate your own, but this is so simple. All right. This is just half a cup, so I'll do 2 of them.
Okay. It does call for cheddar, but I would imagine that you could have, you know, different kinds if you want to. So.
Yeah, I like that. The mozzarella and cheddar mix. The tacos mix there. All right, and now I think we just fold that in on top. We spread it over the cheese.
So this goes.
Oh, and I suppose no, I forgot the tomatoes
first.
So,
okay.
Throw those tomatoes on top, and we'll mix those. And I did take a paper towel and just kind of blot the juice because it was so juicy.
Right, the tomato.
The tomatoes. Okay. And then if you want to fold that on that, I'm assuming it's going to make kind of a crust. So
over the top?
Over the top. And then we will bake it at 350 for 45 minutes. I have to cool this oven down.
And this might be, as I'm putting on here, one of those things that you would like to stick on a cookie sheet because it could spill over onto the, you know, into the oven.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yep, as it is right now.
No sense in cleaning the oven.
You don't have to there.
There. We'll be ready to stick this in the oven and enjoy.
Okay. It looks great.
It does.
I think we're going to have a hit here, Jen. It looks kind of sloppy, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to bake it at 350 for 30 minutes.
And we will have to give our husbands comments and their whether or not they enjoyed it on our next show. So
and we'll pass that on.
Yeah, exactly.
This has been Jen.
And I'm Melissa, and this has been Tastefully Home, and we'll see you again next week.